From translation. Net New English Translation. This 21 day of the year. Today we are reading passages Exodus 10 to 12. Exodus chapter 10, verses 1 to 29. The Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh. For I have hardened his heart, and the hearts of his officials, so that I may perform these signs of mine among them, and so that you may tell your children and grandchildren how I mocked the Egyptians, and how I performed my signs among them, and so that you may know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said to him, "The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says, 'How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, so that they may worship me. Otherwise, if you refuse to let my people go, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your territory. They will cover the surface of the land so that no one can see the ground. They will devour what little has survived from the hail, and they will devour every tree that is growing in the field. They will fill your houses and the houses of all your officials and the houses of all the Egyptians, something neither your ancestors nor your ancestors' ancestors have seen from the day they came to this day.'" Then Moses and Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go, worship the Lord your God." "But exactly who is going to go?" Moses said, "We will go with our young and our old. We will go with our sons and daughters and with our sheep and cattle, because we are to hold a festival to the Lord." Pharaoh said to them, "The Lord will certainly need to be with you if I am to let you go along with your women and children. Look out, disaster is right before you." Pharaoh continued, "The Lord will certainly need to be with you if I am to let you go along with your little ones. Look out, evil is right before you. Not so. Go, the men among you, and worship the Lord, that is what you want." Then they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. The Lord said to Moses, "Extend your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, so that they may come up over the land of Egypt and eat every plant in the land, everything that the hail has left." So Moses extended his staff over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind on the land all that day and all night. The morning came, and the east wind had brought the locusts. The locusts went up over all the land of Egypt, and settled in all the territory of Egypt. It was very severe. Previously there had been no locusts like them, nor would there be again. For they covered the surface of the whole land, so that the land was darkened, and they ate all the plants in the land, and all the fruit of the trees that the hail had left. Nothing green remained on the trees or on the plants throughout the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh quickly summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now forgive my sin once more and pray to the Lord your God to remove this death from me." So Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. The Lord brought a very strong west wind, and it lifted the locusts and blew them into the Red Sea. Not one locust remained in all the territory of Egypt. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the people of Israel go. The Lord said to Moses, "Extend your hand toward the sky, so that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, a darkness that can be felt." So Moses extended his hand toward the sky, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. People could not see one another, and for 3 days they could not move from where they were. But all the Israelites had light where they lived. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, "Go, worship the Lord, only your flocks and your herds may be left behind. But not even your children may go with you." Moses said, "You must also let us have sacrifices and burnt offerings to present to the Lord our God. Our livestock will also go with us. Not one hoof will be left behind, for we must take some of them to worship the Lord our God. But we ourselves do not know with what we must worship the Lord until we arrive there." But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he was not willing to let them go. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Extend your hand toward the sky so that darkness may fall on the land of Egypt, a darkness that can be felt." Moses extended his hand toward the sky, and total darkness fell in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. They did not see one another, and they did not move from where they were for 3 days. But all the Israelites had light in their dwellings. Then Pharaoh said to Moses, "Get away from me, watch out for yourself. Do not see my face again, for if you see my face again, you will die." Exodus chapter 11, verses 1 to 10. The Lord said to Moses, "I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. After that he will let you go from here. When he releases you, he will surely drive you out completely from this place. Instruct the people that each man is to ask his neighbor, and each woman is to ask her neighbor for silver and gold items." The Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's officials and in the sight of the people. Then Moses said, "Thus says the Lord, about midnight I will go out through Egypt. Every firstborn son in the land of Egypt will die, from the firstborn son of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, to the firstborn son of the female slave who is behind the millstones, and all the firstborn of the animals. There will be a great cry of anguish throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has never been before and such as there will never be again. But against any of the Israelites, either people or animals, Not even a dog will bark. Then you will know that the Lord makes a distinction between the Egyptians and Israel. All these officials of yours will come down to me and bow low before me, saying, Leave us. You and all the people who follow you, after that I will leave. And Moses, hot with anger, left Pharaoh. The Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not listen to you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. Moses and Aaron had performed all these wonders before Pharaoh, but the Lord had hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the people of Israel go out of his land. Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 to 51. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, This month is to be the first month of your year. For you it is the first month of the year. Speak to the whole community of Israel and say to them, On the 10th day of this month, each man must take a lamb for his family, one for each household. If any household is too small for a whole lamb, they must share one with their nearest neighbor, having taken into account the number of people there are. You are to determine the amount of lamb needed, in accordance with what each person will eat. The animals you choose must be year-old males without defect. And you may take them from the sheep or the goats. You are to keep it until the 14th day of this month. Then the whole assembly of the community of Israel must slaughter them at twilight. Then they are to take some of the blood and put it on the 2 side posts and on the top of the doorframes of the houses where they eat the lambs. That same night they are to eat the meat roasted over the fire, along with bitter herbs and bread made without yeast. Do not eat the meat raw or boiled in water, but roast it over the fire, its head along with its legs and inner parts. Do not leave any of it till morning. If some is left till morning, you must burn it. This is how you are to eat it, with your cloak tucked into your belt, your sandals on your feet and your staff in your hand. Eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. On that night I will pass through the land of Egypt, and strike down every firstborn son and firstborn animal in the land of Egypt, and I will execute judgment against all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord. The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are, so that when I see the blood I will pass over you. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day will be a memorial for you, and you will celebrate it as a festival to the Lord. You will celebrate it as a perpetual ordinance for generations to come. For 7 days you must eat bread made without yeast. On the first day remove the yeast from your houses, for whoever eats anything with yeast in it from the first day to the 7th day must be cut off from Israel. On the first day you are to hold a sacred assembly, and another one on the 7th day. No work is to be done on those days, except for preparing the food that everyone needs to eat. That alone is to be prepared by you. So you are to observe the feast of unleavened bread, for on this very day I brought your divisions out of the land of Egypt. You are to observe this day as a perpetual ordinance for generations to come. From the 14th day of the first month, in the evening, you are to eat bread made without yeast until the 21st day of the month in the evening. For 7 days yeast must not be found in your houses. Because whoever eats what is made with yeast, that person will be cut off from the community of Israel, whether a foreigner or a native of the land. You must not eat anything made with yeast. Wherever you live you are to eat unleavened bread. Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go at once and select the animals for your families and slaughter the Passover lamb. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it into the blood in the basin, and put some of the blood on the top and on both sides of the doorframe. None of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning, for the Lord will pass through to strike down the Egyptians, but when he sees the blood on the top and sides of the doorframe, the Lord will pass over that door and will not permit the destroyer to enter your houses to strike you down. Observe this as a permanent ordinance for you and your children. When you enter the land that the Lord will give you, as he has promised, you are to observe this ceremony, and when your children ask you, What does this ceremony mean to you? Then you are to say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt when he struck down the Egyptians but spared our houses. The people bowed down and worshipped. The Israelites went and did exactly as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. Now at midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the animals. Pharaoh got up in the night, he and all his officials and all the Egyptians, and there was loud wailing in Egypt, for there was not a house where someone had not died. During the night Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, Get up, get out from among my people, both you and the Israelites. Go, worship the Lord as you requested. Also take your flocks and your herds as you requested and be gone, and also bless me. The Egyptians urged the people to hurry up and leave the country, otherwise, they said, we will all die. So the people took their dough before it was leavened, with their kneading bowls bound up in their clothes on their shoulders. The Israelites did as Moses commanded. They asked the Egyptians for silver and gold items, and for clothing. The Lord had made the Egyptians favorably disposed toward the people, and they gave them what they asked for. So they plundered the Egyptians. The Israelites traveled from Ramesses to Sukkot, about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. A mixed multitude also went up with them, and flocks and herds, a very large number of livestock. The people baked the dough they had brought out of Egypt into unleavened loaves of bread, because it was made without yeast, and they were driven out of Egypt, and could not delay, nor had they prepared any provisions for themselves. Now the time the Israelites lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's divisions went out from the land of Egypt. It was a night of vigil for the Lord to bring them out from the land of Egypt, and so this night must be celebrated by all the Israelites throughout their generations. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner may eat it, but every slave that is bought for money may eat it after you have circumcised him. A resident foreigner and a hired worker may not eat it. It must be eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the meat outside the house, and you are not to break any of its bones. The whole community of Israel must celebrate it. When a stranger lives with you and wants to celebrate the Passover to the Lord, all his males must be circumcised, and then he may come near to celebrate it. He must become like a native of the land, but no uncircumcised person may eat it. The same law applies to the native-born and to the stranger who lives among you." Then all the Israelites did as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. On this very day the Lord brought the Israelites out of the land of Egypt by their divisions.